recognize me from Dr. Mings' transportation engineering class. I'm here with Mary Gormley, working on our site analysis project. We are doing it on the intersection of Front Street and New Haven Avenue. What's the problem with this intersection?
Okay, so this intersection only has one lane for two-way traffic, if you can tell. So when people are trying to take a right turn onto New Haven Ave, they can't do so because if someone's in front of them that wants to go left, they have to wait for all of the traffic to clear, so they will be able to go left, and then that car can go right.
Why is solving this problem important?
So a lot of people use this back road to get over the causeway. So we would need to create a better flow and less delays for more people to enjoy taking this road. Who is likely to be interested in this solution?
People interested in this solution are pretty much anyone commuting from inland to beachside using this route. And as you might have seen already, we actually just interviewed a guy who said he takes this way to bypass the 192 traffic. So pretty much any general person heading to the beach, but more specifically, I think it would appeal more to commuters during rush hours, people who work beachside or people who work inland coming from beachside. We approached the problem by first brainstorming solutions to try and increase the flow of traffic on Front Street and to eliminate the delay that occurs at the stop sign when traffic congestion occurs. The first solution we came up with incorporated the design of a three-way roundabout, but after further research, we realized that that's not the most feasible option. So instead, we decided to design a right turning lane, and this right turn lane is a better option, and it's more ideal because the traffic congestion mainly only occurs on Front Street, not on New Haven. So the roundabout isn't necessary because it's only one way. Our final report is broken up into a few different sections. These sections include the diagnosis, analysis, solution, benefits, and conclusion. The intro will be pretty basic. It'll just describe the scope of the project, so what we're doing, the location of it, all those generic details. The diagnosis section will talk about the facts and the research conducted to begin the design process. The analysis section will talk about the issues being addressed, and the solution section will talk about how we're fixing the problem. And finally, the benefits section will include reasons on how our solution benefits people traveling through the intersection of Front Street and New Haven Avenue.
So we're currently on Front Street. We took a left onto the street from Mel Ave. We're going onto the causeway. In this intersection right here from Front Street to New Haven is very backed up due to the traffic coming from the causeway. If you can tell, Devyn has poor sight. It's just to turn while in the crosswalk because she cannot see. The visibility is not so good. Taking Front Street to New Haven Avenue on the Melbourne Causeway is a shortcut for most people instead of taking Babcock to East Strawbridge Avenue to the causeway.
You're from?
Florida Tech.
Florida Tech.
Yes.
Florida Tech. I hate Florida Tech.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god!
No, Florida Tech's cool. No, so go
We're
ahead.
civil
Are you from
engineer
Melbourne?
majors.
From Melbourne, yeah.
Okay, so do you drive the causeway, the Melbourne Causeway
Sure.
often?
Sure.
So do you live, when you live in this direction, do you live in this direction or do you live
I
on
live
the causeway?
back in Melbourne, yeah.
Okay, so when you go to the causeway, do you take this road, this Front Street to New Haven, or do you usually take 192 in Babcock?
I usually bypass it with this back road,
Yeah,
and sometimes I cut through downtown just because I like going through the pretty downtown.
yeah.
But it's a little faster this way.
Oh,
not on
okay.
the main road.
Okay, thank you. So how often do you travel from Melbourne Ave to this road onto the causeway?
like 5 times.
5 times?
Yeah.
So why do you take this road instead of Babcock to 182?
Because there's all those stoplights.
Oh, stoplights? Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Our group conducted a survey that asked people how often they traveled to the Melbourne Causeway and for what reason. The first question we asked people was, how often do you travel on the Melbourne Causeway by car per week? Out of 51 responses, about 75% of people said that they travel on the causeway. The second question our survey asked was, how do you get to the Melbourne Causeway? We had about 65% answer that they take Babcock Street to Melbourne Ave. This percentage supports our diagnosis because since it's a higher majority of people saying they take Babcock Street to Melbourne Ave, it's more likely that we can input the design of a right turn lane to ease the flow of traffic. The third question our survey asked people was, why are you going over the Melbourne Causeway? Out of our 51 responses, 40 said that they were traveling to the beach and 28 said they were traveling to restaurants. There were only 4 people that said they were traveling either home or to work over the Melbourne Causeway. Finally, the last question we asked on our survey was, if you selected the back way from Melbourne Ave to the Causeway, why? The majority of answers showed that people chose that way because it was quicker, there was less cars, and it was a more convenient travel route.
Many people use Front Street to New Haven Avenue to get onto the Melbourne Causeway instead of using Babcock to Strawbridge Avenue. Based off the data of the Transportation Data Management System, there are about 17,257 people using this shortcut to get onto the Melbourne Causeway. From the volume count report that was done on October 13, 2016, the AM peak was about 7:30 to 8:30 with 1,600 people, was 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock at 1,700 people. Taking a right-hand turn onto New Haven Avenue is very difficult from Front Street. There is a stop sign trying to go left and right onto New Haven Avenue onto two-way traffic. In our project, we will design a way to make the traffic less congested and more free-flowing.
The group members brainstormed ideas that would make the traffic flow more efficient through this intersection. The idea of a stoplight was brought up, but there are many reasons why it is not needed. Because there are only about 5,000 vehicles at the intersection of Front Street and Melbourne Ave, the peak flow is 500 vehicles, and the minimal signage can regulate that traffic. The next idea was a roundabout, and after further discussion, it was a good idea, but not the best. Roundabouts are used for intersections that keep the traffic flow moving without having a light signal or stop signs. It uses yields as its main signage, but it will not be as beneficial to this intersection as the group members thought. Previously stated, there are only about 500 vehicles coming from Front Street within an hour, and there are about 2,000 vehicles traveling on New Haven Avenue. The speed between both streets is different and would cause accidents. Front Street is just a small side street that the max speed is 20 miles per hour, while the cars coming off the causeway and from the intersection at US 1 are coming at 40 miles per hour. The roundabout would do more damage to the cars.
How do you plan on solving this traffic problem?
So for our design solution, we're going to create a right lane. So that means that it's going to cut across from here. This will help with the flow of traffic, and the right lane will already just get to go onto ongoing traffic, while the left lane will stop at the stop sign.
For the new design, the right shoulder on Front Street going northbound will need to be pushed out for 12 feet to allow for an exclusive right turn lane. This will affect the sidewalk, but the sidewalk will be able to be redone to fit the new design of the intersection.
The benefits associated with putting a right turn lane at the intersection of Front Street and New Haven are that there will be a shorter queue time for people traveling and stopping at the stop sign on Front Street. There will be less time waiting to take a right when travelers ahead of you are turning left, and more people will travel this road after the implementation of a right turn lane. As shown in our survey results, beachgoers, tourists, commuters, anyone traveling to and from beachside will benefit from this solution. In conclusion, the challenge we addressed was dissipating the queue time on the intersection of Front Street because there's only one lane for cars to turn right or left.
So we did a survey to back up our idea that people use this back way instead of 192 to Babcock, and we analyzed how we should fix this problem by either using a roundabout, a traffic signal, or an exclusive right turn lane. We decided to go with the right turn lane, and it will benefit anyone that goes over the Melbourne Causeway using this back way. Thank you for watching our video.